Hi, everybody. Okay, I think we're in. Welcome to Clear Morning. I'm Tami. Happy to be here with you, to join with you. For class today, have a couple of props handy. So today, instead of a strap, I'm using a necktie, but you could use a kitchen towel. And actually, I'm not sure that we're going to get to needing this, but have it handy. I always like having a strap handy. I have 2 blocks, which if you don't have blocks, you can use blankets, and let them be hefty blankets or firm pillows. And today's practice, so the hefty blankets, let me talk about that a little bit. Fold them so that they're fairly thick. These are those Mexican kind of blankets. And I have 2, and then I also have a beach towel that can be useful. So, and again, if you don't have any of these kind of props, almost always I try to show you how to achieve the shapes without props. And then I like to also show with props. In fact, that leads me to today's practice. We're going to do sort of a yin-like practice today. We're going to work kind of from the feet up. And so most of the shapes will be on the mat, and most of the shapes I'm going to give you 2 options for. So, and then we're going to also do a couple of sort of attunements is what they're called. So tapping into our physical body, and yeah, so there we go. And then I want you to keep in mind this reconnecting of mind, body, spirit. That'll be sort of the theme of our practice today. And in particularly in relationship to processing loss, grief, or abrupt change. And I think we're all going through this time of change that isn't necessarily our choice. And that can manifest itself in our bodies in a way that causes ill-ease, illness, and disease. And so this practice, particularly today's practice, is designed to help us refresh, restore, and really rejuvenate, and moving and opening in those places where things might seem stuck. So when we're dealing with any kind of unintegrated energies, they land in our bodies and our tissues, and sometimes can cause us discomfort. So with that being said, find a comfortable seat or use your props to build a comfortable seat. I'm going to make a couple of suggestions. One simple one would be to rest on your shins. Let me move my mat back just a little bit so I can offer a little more clarity. There we go. Oh, let's see. Maybe forward. All right, we're going to come smooth my rear end. We're going to come forward a little bit, I think. Hold on. I'll just do this. Apologize for the fussing. There we go. Oh, that didn't really change it much anyway. It made it worse. There we go. Any better? No. Hold on, everybody. That's going to make it do. Forget how I did it last time. Okay, well, my words will cue you in, but so yeah, coming onto your shins, using a block or two. Untuck your toes and let your tops of your feet rest on the mat, and then just lift up. Set that block behind you and sit back down so that your sitting bones are resting on the block. Or the block could be a rolled up blanket or folded up blanket. If that's not high enough, then adjust the block to a height that works for you. And if this height isn't enough, then just add another block and let them both be on the low side. Okay. All right, so that's gonna be too high for me today. So I'm gonna come down. The other option would be to sit crisscross applesauce, maybe on the edge of a block or the edge of a blanket, bringing your feet together or feet in front, folded like so. I think this is where I'm gonna land today because I feel a nice opening. Letting your knees be heavy and weighted down towards the floor. Okay, so there we go. Close your eyes and invite in stillness. Start to send your awareness to your breath and to the locations where you are feeling the earth underneath you most predominantly. Taking full breaths in through the nose and full breaths out through the nose. So this is an attunement exercise where I'll just guide you, and then there'll be moments of stillness and pause. And this is pretty much a 3-part practice. The first part is to put all your awareness, all your attention on your physical body, your flesh, your bones, your organs, your skin, and seeing if at all possible, you can let your body drop or release into gravity just a little bit more, maybe even with each breath, feeling the earth underneath you and the expansion that the breath provides, the stimulation the breath provides. And on the exhale, just letting it go, open mouth. Noticing the rise and fall and the stimulation that the breath offers to your physical body. Noticing all the sensations and being aware of them without judgment. So no sensation is good or bad, it just is. And perhaps it has a message for us, something to be curious about and to be listening for. In these next few moments, while you are listening to your body and becoming in tune with and attuned to the sensations or the lack of sensation, there might be some numbness or areas of numbness. I'd like for you to set an intention for your practice or an invitation of energy that you would like to bring in, more energy into your life. And let it be simple. We call this, and maybe put it into a statement. We call this statement Sankopa. So like for me, I just want more lightness, more connection, and freedom from the busyness that goes on in my mind. Thus perhaps manifesting more joy, kindness, and connection to myself and to those around me. So you're an observer to this physical body in these next rounds of breath, inviting in the statement of your Sankopa with the inhale, pausing in the fullness, letting it resonate, letting it start to integrate into your physical body. And then using the exhale to push out whatever it is that might be in the way that you don't need. And you might not even know what it is. Know it's moving out with each exhale breath. or exalted breath. And now with your eyes still closed, shift your focus to the busyness in your mind, or it's not busyness. Maybe it's not busy, but shift your focus, your attention, your awareness to the mental, to your mental being, your mental aspect. And again, you're observing, you're witnessing, not judging, not judging. And it's so easy. Notice, observe how easy it is to get into that judgmental state. Oh, I should not be thinking this. Oh, I should be doing this. Let go of should. My yoga buddy, teacher, instructor friends, we have this kind of joke around when we hear one another going into that I should, you should. We say, sounds like someone's shoulding all over themselves. So don't should all over yourself. And now if you can align some of the movement of your thoughts, like, so for me, my mind tends to be quite busy. If I give it a tempo, perhaps witnessing the thought with an inhale and letting it move with the exhale, giving it some sort of attention and then letting it go. Knowing that in this moment, I have decided that nothing needs to be done. So oftentimes we think we need to run and write down our thoughts, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But while we're trying to practice this attunement, it might interrupt the flow of connection. And so know that the thoughts that are really necessary will return when you need them. Observe with a curious and almost humorous mind the nature of your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts. Oftentimes for me, I'm easily distracted by silly little things like, is the proper way to pronounce ketchup or catsup? And just have a little sense of humor about that. Noticing that our minds can be like little puppies, little butterflies, flitting from here to there, seeming to have no rhyme or reason. They come and they go, and we give them the tempo of our breath. And the longer you can expand the length of your breath, the slower your thoughts might become. And as we bring our hands to our heart in any way you like, maybe in prayer, or palm over palm, resting at the heart. Or my favorite is the heart polishing mudra, where you interlace your fingers and lay your hands on your heart space. I'd like you to shift your awareness here. Not only the heart as an organ and the space that it resides in, heart as the keeper of your spirit. Heart as the space of perhaps your essence and the true you. While you're shifting your awareness here, maybe connecting to those places, persons that make your heart shine. And maybe those places, persons, pets are here with us on this earth or have passed on to the next step. And know that whatever might come up in this moment, emotionally, physically, or mentally, it's okay. It's when we ignore the emotional, mental, and physical aspects where we can get into some stickiness, some trouble. I often say it's a lot like ignoring a toddler that's pulling at your shirt tail, needing your attention. They're only going to keep pulling at the shirt tail until you give them the attention, or they're going to wander off and get themselves into trouble. At least that's been my experience with my children, who are now very much grown and have their own children. Now in your mind's eye, can you imagine sort of a spiral or a swirling of this connection of mind, body, spirit, physical body, mental body, and heartfelt body? I always like to think of like a double figure eight, this swirling, this union, this endless movement of energy, a steady flow. And then from my seat to the crown of my head, I am an antenna, a receiver of the energy and the essence of my Sankupa, inviting all those things in that I deserve and desire, and using my exhale to move out the stuck energy, the stuck thoughts. And then when you're ready, you're just gonna start to blink your eyes open, rest your hands at your thighs, and then come onto your hands and knees. Move the props out of the way for the moment, but keep them close by. And we'll move into a wide-legged squat. So wide-legged squat, placing your feet flat on your mat and bringing your knees outward. So there is an external rotation of your upper thighs and a press down through all four corners of your feet, both sides of your heels anchoring down, and the balls of your feet, the base of your big toe and little toe, anchoring down. And then you're just gonna come down. Now you might stay here in this sort of more dynamic shape, or you might bring the block down, coming into a wide-legged squat, resting, resting on the block. So you just put your sit bones on the block, like so. And in this shape, the supported position, I'm able to put my elbows right at my knees and then press to give a little more sensation. You'll be here for a couple of minutes, so you can close your eyes, tap back into the physical body. There's a lot of sensation in this shape. A lot of sensation. Now remember, if this gets to be too intense, I recommend taking 3 breaths before moving on or changing the shape. But you could always maybe place your hands down, push into your feet, lift your hips, and come back to that more erect or upper stage, like stage 1 shape here. Be gentle with yourself. Can you visualize the spiraling? The spiraling of the trifecta, keeping that energy flowing. So not staying stuck in our minds, not staying stuck in our hearts, but not staying stuck in our physical body, but allowing the energy to interact. In this shape, I think of a triangle, and I think of the swirling of the triangle. Much like my arms are in that triangular shape right now. Fingers or the crown is like our mind. The elbows touching to the body, my palms, that spirit. Hang in there. The more there is sensation, the more vibrant or voluptuous the breath can be. The breath supports the shape. The breath supports the busyness of our minds. And breath totally supports the beating of our hearts. It's when we hold our breath, when we are faced with crisis, when we are faced with uncomfortableness, when we are faced with grief, It's when we hold our breath and hold right there, and it's like a hit. It's a hit to our nervous system. Breathing into it, leaning into it, and being curious about what's going to be next. Being curious about if I can process, if I can integrate these unintegrated energies. Well, then there's just possibilities. 10 more rounds of breath here. And I'm going to tell you where we'll go from here. So don't feel rushed. I'm just going to give you some information. So stay with your breath. You'll either return to that seated position you began in, either sitting on the block on your shins, or sitting with your sits bones on the ground or a blanket with your feet in front of you. Here we go. So our counter pose is going to be to come on down to that seated position. If you're sitting on your shins, and you're going to place the block behind you, you're going to take your fists and massage into the backs of your feet. So you don't want your block too high, but you don't want it to be uncomfortable on your knees. So that's one choice. If you're coming back down onto your sits bones and your feet are in front of you, I want you to take your toes and interlace them together, like interlacing your fingers together. So you're just kind of folding them into one another. And then you're going to take your hands and massage the arches of your feet. And you can close your eyes here. And if your toes have come apart, just unlace them and lace them the opposite direction. So if the right big toe was on top, now the left big toe is going to go on top. Interlacing them together. And then again, come back to that. Mine start to cramp, so start to massage the arches or any of the places that are cramping. And then also here, notice if you're starting to round the back side of your body, sit your sits bones down firmly and pull your heart forward and up. Broaden your collarbones by spreading your elbows out wide. And then lift the crown of your head to the sky. Not a crunch in the back of your neck, but a lift. So it's like you're making space from your collarbones to your earlobes. You're making length in your neck. Okay. Big breath in, lift and lengthen, broaden. Exhale, now round, 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 round. Pull the belly button in towards the low back. Inhale, lift and reach, spread the collarbones. Rock the navel forward. Exhale, navel to spine. 2 more times like that. Rock and roll, lift and lengthen. Rock and roll. Roll the back side of the body, even the upper back, round and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And round. Now you'll always go on your own breath rhythm, just as a reminder. My breath cycles might be longer or shorter than yours. Okay, next, child's pose or frog. So child's pose is coming onto your hands and knees, bringing your big toes together, knees out wide, lying forward, chest to floor, chest to earth. Frog is very similar. You're just going to bring, and you might want to use the blankets here for frog, or you can fold your mat, whichever feels better. I like to just grab the blankets, open them up so they're fairly flat for padding on my knees. So it's like wings on your mat. And you're just going to bring your knees out wide, and you're going to bring the inside of your foot, the inner arch, flat to the floor. So take extra effort here to keep your foot flexed And you're going to bring your knees out wide. And you can take a block to lay your forehead onto. And then, of course, the further back you shift your hips, the more sensation you're going to receive. And then you can lighten the load by coming forward a little. Once you get to a place where you can settle, I'm going to come up so I can talk. You stay where you are. Once you get to a place where you can settle, tap back into your breath and use that 3-part attunement to vacillate through, to navigate through the length of time that we're sitting in the poses today. So shift from the awareness of your body to the awareness of your mental well-being, and then the awareness of your heart, and let it shift as often as it seems natural for you. Let it be organic, not too controlled, and yet not random. Finding that discerning balance. Releasing tightness in our hips can actually leave us with more fluid movement in our low belly, stimulating and opening up to creativity in that area of the second chakra. Also leaving openness to our root so that we can find deeper connection. Pretty profound shape here. If your eyes are open and you're holding any kind of tension in your neck or throat, take a big swallow. Close your eyes and take a big swallow. A couple big swallows. You're holding any tension through your shoulders. See if you can find some more comfort here. Maybe, sometimes for me, I like to take another block or a blanket and lay it on my belly. So you could slide this block down or just use the blanket and roll it onto for your belly. And then maybe you don't need the block. Maybe you come all the way down with your forehead. The idea is to release any holding or tension in the shoulders here. Let all of the sensation be mostly in the groin and hips. 10 more rounds of breath. You'll gently come up to hands and knees here and take some rounds of cow-cat, pulling your heart forward as your collarbone spread, letting the belly drop, navel heavy, and then rounding, sucking that navel into the low back, pressing the backside of your body to the sky. All the knuckles in your hands press down and your shins press down. Ready for that breath in, inhale, very dynamic cow-cat. Wait for it, wait for it. When you need to exhale, round like an angry hellenic. 2 more times, just like that. Exhale can go out the mouth or out the nose. And then some swirling here. Just swirling the hips. Take it in both directions. This is a nice way to lubricate and move that energy around. We created some blood pooling there, so we want to move it back around. There we go, swirls or organic movement. Now we're going to move up into the rib and solar plex area. So you're going to take probably both blankets. So mine is folded into kind of quarters and then in halves. And I think that's going to be enough. You can leave the block where it is at the head of your mat. You only need one block or another blanket. Block always can be replaced with a blanket. But we're going to stack 2 blankets or towels like so. And the idea is you're going to lay your ribs, your outer ribs onto the, so you're going to sit your hip down. Let your ribs rest. This arm can go forward and then the head can rest on the block. Okay, and your legs can go into sort of stag-like position. So one foot is hinged on the knee and everything is resting down. So I feel this nice openness here and I'm getting stimulation through the ribs. And then the top arm is going to rest over the ear. And then as soon as you get to a place where you feel stable, let gravity hold you. So maybe another big breath, and with this exhale, just releasing just a little bit more into the support of the props, the support of the earth. Letting go, letting go. You stay right there. I'm just gonna take a look here and make sure I've got the adjustment correct. We're good. Okay, 10 more rounds of breath right there. So this shape, little goodness about this shape is that it helps stimulate our immune system, among many other things, opening the stickiness that collects through our ribs, giving the intercostal muscles a nice stretch. But right now, what a great shape for boosting our immune system, right? Now, very well supported, use your hands and arms to help bring you up. You'll just spin around onto your hands and knees and take a round of cow-calf. See how I'm just over, my props are gonna stay. And then you're gonna drop your other hip in front of the blankets and come to the other side. And notice how the arch of your foot should be able to hook nicely or be kind of a niche, a nudge for, or a notch for your knee to fit into. So the arch of your foot fits nicely into that, to the knee, and then rest it down on the floor. All right, you stay here on this second side and I'll let you know when to come out. Remember, once you finally dropped in, tap back into that attunement. Witnessing the physical body and its sensations or lack of, having an awareness to the movement of your mind, knowing that this connection helps nurture our heart, our soul. Breathing in, acceptance. Breathing out, what's not necessary. Breathing in the distractions and letting them be as they are on their own. Coming right back to your physical body, your emotional body, your mental body. Ten more rounds of breath, breathing in through your nose, big and full, pausing in the fullness. Emptying it out. Maybe that upper arm reaches just a little further, but let it stay heavy. Inhale, supporting and receiving what it is that you desire, that you deserve. Pushing out residue. Inhale, receive. Exhale, discard. When you're ready, coming back up onto your hands and knees for cow pat or any kind of alternate movement that's similar to this. Maybe it's a snaking of the spine, that juicing and swirling of the hips. That always feels so good. And then sit back on your hands and knees while you move your props out of the way. And you're going to come onto your back. And if you'd like to, you can use this as an opportunity to sort of tone your abdominals, just coming down nice and slow, slow and controlled. Maybe, or maybe slow and supported. Oh, that feels good. It's nice mini massage. So we're going to finish up the lower body. And notice I put my blankets to the side here. If they're in the way, move them further over. But we're just going to take a simple twist. Simple twist. So bring your arms out to a T or cactus your arms. That's what I like to do. My shoulders, both shoulder blades are going to stay heavy in the floor, in the earth. And my knees are going to fall to one side. And they might separate a little bit. You can use the same hand as the side of your knees fall to support or give a little self-assist. And here, breathing in, consider the length and alignment of your spine. And then the wringing out on the exhale, deepening the twist as your body becomes a little heavier. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. I always think of a mop that's all wet and soggy. And then it's being wrung out around that rod that would be like our spine. The rod of the mop. Okay, now release the support of the self-assist if you're still doing that. Tone your belly and bring your shins so that they're parallel to the sky or the ceiling. Massage your low back into the earth and then prepare to take it to the other side. And so I'm going to need to move my blankets because they're not going to allow me. They're going to resist me going deep into this twist. And there you go. Second side. I know too, if this is too intense going this far, you don't have to make your legs go as far. You can let them dangle, sort of hover, or put a block or a blanket underneath your knees. No forcing. Never, never, never is yoga intended to force ourselves into shapes. It is a process and a practice. We don't just get all the way to one place, or there isn't really a destination. It is a journey that is a continuing journey as long as we're on this earth. And each time we come to our mat, we come to our mat with a body that has experienced different sorts of information. It's experienced and taken in different bits of information from the day before, the morning before, whatever. And you come to your mat in a almost new way every day or every time. All right, now tone your belly, bring those shins back to the center. And here, just hug in, hug in. We'll finish up with a little happy baby. Happy baby. Happy baby can be like so, or even just like so, bringing, yeah, keeping that low back married to the mat. It wants to peel up and away most often. Keeping it married to the mat and soften through the throat. Keep the collarbones broaden and the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're gonna bring our knees together and rock and roll. up one side of the spine and down the other, and up one side of the spine and down the other, all the way up. All right, now we're gonna do a supported fish-like pose. So you can use your block and drape a towel or blanket over it. You wanna open it up a little bit. Know and be aware of where the edge of the block is. Set your sits bones so that you're forward of the block just enough so that when you lie down, you want the block to start to line at the base of the ribs, like right at your sports bra line probably, or your bra line. And so it might take a few minutes to get seated. I like to bring my feet together or feet flat to the floor to support me here. And I like to have another blanket ready to flop behind for my head. So today, my blanket's a little ways away, so I'm gonna fold it. There we go. So I can stay neutral here. I want you to reach back and feel for that little C7 nodule, the cervical spine, that little nodule that we usually feel. I want that to be neutral. I don't want it to be poking out too much. Yeah. And my throat is open, but not thrusted, right? And now I'm going to take my arms and my legs and let them lay out to the side. So this is like supported butterfly. Some people call this Supta Baddha Konasana, or supported fish, kind of a variation of both. Definitely heart opener, solar plex opening. Shift back to your 3-part attunement. Start with your heart. Let your belly go soft. Play around with breath here, like maybe 3-part breath, sending it all the way to your belly, filling up then at the ribs, and then expanding all around the heart. On your exhale, opposite, softening at the heart space, lowering and heavying at the ribs and solar plex. Belly goes soft. 3 to 5 more rounds of breath like that, or whatever feels right to you right here, right now. And know if this block is too much, you can roll off and remove the block anytime you like, making this more of a restorative shape with your spine lying on the floor. Another option would be to have just the blanket there along the spine. We'll be here for about 1 to 2 more minutes. I'm just going to adjust this for myself. So you would roll the blanket if you decide to change. Set that roll up so that it is right next to your, right up at your bum. And then extending the spine down and along to the side. And see, I don't even need that other blanket. If this is too much with your legs in butterfly position, Baddha Konasana, then just bring your feet out as wide as your mat. This might be a nice shift anyway. And let your knees fall in towards one another. Your inner thighs rest together. And then do that little body scan again. Soften through the throat. Soften through the collarbones. Let go of tension in your arms and hands. Belly goes soft. 2 more rounds of breath here. And then you're just going to reach over, roll off your props to one side, press into your hands and come up to seated. I'm going to leave my roll here for this next shape because I'm going to sit on it. So you can sit on that or your block. And I'm just going to sit on the edge so that the flesh around my sits bones kind of splays out and falls out. My belly starts to sort of fall forward. And if you need to, you can put more props underneath your knees, you know, blanket or block. I like to let mine hang out, sort of offering some open, you know, opportunity for openness and more space. So just get comfortable here. Sitting tall, belly slightly falling forward like a little Buddha belly. Collarbone spread wide, crown of head ascending to the sky, like shining light, golden, golden light. And with your eyes open or eyes closed, I simply want you to keep your collarbone spread wide, elbows resting heavy down, chin drops to chest. So you're simply making some openness through the cervical spine. And then here, you can use your chin to sort of dangle and rotate side to side. Just easy little movements, as if your chin was circling around your sternum. I think that's yeah, or the collarbones, going from collarbone side to collarbone side. Not quite the sternum, but the face, the nose is pointing towards the sternum. And then be still, just drop into center, be heavy. On an inhale, the whole face comes up, resting. So we're not arching, we're just right here at neutral. And now you're simply gonna drop ear to shoulder. Let the head get heavy. So resist the urge to completely move with it. We're holding steady here and resting heavy here. So this is my left ear to left shoulder. So I'm gonna take my left hand and rest it to the temple of the right side, and I'm pushing my head back into my fingertips. Oh yeah, feel lots of opening, lots of sensation here. And I'm not tugging over, I'm pushing my head into my fingertips. Pulling my elbow away from my shoulder and shoulder away from my ears. Releasing the hand back down, head comes back to center, chin drops to chest. And I can literally feel, the more I let my head get heavy but my shoulders stay parallel to the floor, I can literally feel this all the way down, almost into the space between my sits bones. And now inhale, face comes up. This time we're gonna keep our shoulders spread wide, and we're gonna lift our face to the ceiling without crunching back. We're just gonna lift our face to the ceiling, to the sky, and then back to neutral. Other ear, other shoulder, drop. And also feel, you know, wiggle around every once in a while just to make sure that both sitting bones are bearing the weight, so you're not tipping or throwing things off in one way or another, which we typically do, right? We have dominant sides throughout our body. It isn't always just all right-sided or all left-sided. Now we're gonna add that pressure against the temple and the temple pressing into the fingertips. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. Elbow can be heavy here, or you can even press your hand away. Oh yeah. Oh, this is flossing the nerves that we have that run through our neck. And gently release and come back to center. This time we're going to push our face up. Elbows come down towards our sides. Breathe in. Exhale, chin drops to chest, and now we're gonna round. Use your hands against your shins to support you here, and round. All the way from the crown of the head to your sitting bones. Let the back side of your body almost get longer. And then press forward like a seated cow-cat, and exhale. Pressing forward, And linger in these expressions and rounding back. Linger, come to your own pace, come to your own speed. Couple more times just like that. We'll take a little seated twist here too. So it's simple walking of the hands, opposite hand to opposite knee. Letting your gaze be the furthest extension of the twist. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale to receive. Exhale, discard. Remove all the obstacles. Come back to center. Other side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, beautiful long spine. Exhale, removing that which is in the way. One more time. Back to center. This time we're gonna, if your legs are crossed, uncross them and cross them the other way. Keep your sit bones heavy, let your belly fall forward, and simply maybe with a block or a blanket in front of you, walk forward. Maybe we rest here. Maybe you come all the way down or halfway down. Maybe you use a block and a blanket. Lots of varieties of things here just to roll on them. Come on back up. Cross the other leg in front. Or actually bring your legs out wide and just kind of drop and drop. And then cross the other leg in front. Same thing here, fold forward. Notice when a different leg is in front, you might have less space or more space to fall forward. So make that adjustments from side to side. Back on up to center when you feel ready. Don't let me rush you. And then I want you to lie down in Shavasana or Savasana in whatever way feels right to you. So get comfy. Something for your brain to rest on. Maybe something for the backs of your knees to rest on. Keep it simple and come into Savasana. So that's all the way down, laying out, for those of you that don't know. Final rest, corpse pose. I like, let your palms, backs of the hands rest into the earth, palms up. Collarbone spread wide, definitely a theme here. Heart open, mind slowing down, awareness of your physical body. I want you to send your awareness on the next breath in to the crown of your head. So breathe in, crown. Exhale all the way to your feet. Inhale, crown. Exhale, ankles. Inhale, crown. Exhale, knees. Don't let me go too fast. Inhale at the crown of your head, send all your awareness. On your exhale, notice your hips. Breathe in at the crown. Exhale, navel. Inhale, crown. Exhale, lower rib, solar plex, below the heart. Fill up at the crown. Exhale, heart. Inhale, crown. Exhale, throat. Breathe in, crown. Exhale, third eye, that space between both eyebrows. Inhale, crown. Exhale out through the mouth. Stay right here. Nothing more to do. The work is done. I'm going to read from Mark Nepo's book, Being Held. And it's actually from Mark Nepo's book, The Book of Awakening. As you can see, this is a very tattered book of mine. It's much loved. August 15th, which is this month, but not actually today. Being held. Perhaps the shortest and most powerful prayer in human language is help. And that's a statement from Father Thomas Keating. A hardness we can't see, cold and rigid, begins to form between us and the world. The longer we stay silent about what we need. It is not even about getting what we need, but about admitting, mostly to ourselves, that we do have needs. Asking for help, whether we get it or not, breaks the hardness that builds the world. Paradoxically, asking even for the things that no one can give, we are relieved and blessed for the asking. For admitting our humanness lets the soul break surface, the way a dolphin leaps to the sun. One of the most painful barriers we can experience in this sense of isolation, the modern world fosters, which can only be broken by our willingness to be held, by the quiet courage to allow our vulnerabilities to be seen. For as water fills a hole and as light fills the dark, kindness wraps around what is soft, if what is soft can be seen. So admitting what we need, asking for help, letting our softness show, these are prayers without words that friends, strangers, wind, and time all wrap themselves around. Allowing others to be held is like returning to the womb. As you breathe, try to relax and soften your guard for these brief moments. Breathe slowly and feel your pores open for more fully to the world. Inhale deeply and let the air and silence get closer. Inhale cleanly and allow yourself to be held by what is. And I'll leave you with this, what I'm learning in my practice of integrating unintegrated traumas, experiences, and sorrows and grief, is that I can't change what is or what happened, but I can change how I respond and how I treat myself. Love you all. So glad to share this practice with you today, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Wear your mask.